Welcome to another 10 solid minutes of geography and culture facts. Let's jump right into it. The world's shortest international bridge stretches just over 10 feet or 3.2 meters from Spain to Portugal. Rio de Janeiro was the capital of Portugal from 1808 to 1821, following the conquest of Portugal by Napoleon. The Portuguese royal family fled to Brazil, where they established Rio de Janeiro as the capital. Brazil's northernmost point is closer to every country in the Americas, including Canada and Uruguay, than Brazil's own southernmost point. The entire continent of South America is east of Detroit, Michigan. Parts of Canada are south of Detroit. The largest national park in the European Union isn't located in Europe, but in South America, in French Guiana, an overseas department of France. It's called the Guyana Amazonian Park, and it covers 41% of French Guiana's territory. 58% of the Amazon rainforest is located in Brazil. The next highest percent is Peru at 13%. The largest metropolis in the Peruvian Amazon is Iquitos, which is home to around 500,000 people. It is also the largest city in the world that cannot be reached by road. It is accessible only by river and air. The country flag with the most colors is Belize, with 12. 4 countries' flag designs incorporate a depiction of their flag within itself: Ecuador, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and El Salvador. Though English is the most commonly used language in the United States, the country has never declared it an official language at the federal level. But 28 states have declared it as the sole official language. 3 of the states have declared it an official language along with at least one other language, and 2 have declared English the de facto with special status. 19 have no declared status. Europeans officially made contact with Florida in 1513, which was by Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon. But what appears to be Florida is on 1507 maps. But before I share the next interesting fact, I want to share with you today's sponsor, Blinkist. Blinkist is a book summarizing service that helps you understand powerful ideas in 15 minutes. They currently have over 5,000 nonfiction books in 27 categories. In their library, they have many great reads. They have several by American geographer Jared Diamond, but my personal favorite book, and what I believe is an absolute must-read for geography geeks, Prisoners of Geography by Tim Marshall. This book was my main source of information for 2 videos that I've made, and I'm currently working on a 3rd using it. I can't stress enough how perfect I believe reading this book is if you want a better understanding of geography's role in human history and how it will continue to shape the future. Just go read or listen to the first chapter on Blinkist, and you'll have a slightly better understanding of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The book also provides information on other geopolitical situations, such as why China won't let go of Tibet, or how geography helped the United States become a superpower, while geography hindered Africa's development. And you can learn about these topics in just 15 minutes. And you can do this risk-free, because they currently have a special offer for this channel's viewers. If you sign up using the link I've left in this video's description, you'll receive a free 7-day trial and 25% off a premium membership. Now back to the geography and culture facts. Peter Jefferson, the father of the 3rd president of the U.S., Thomas Jefferson, was a cartographer. He created this map of Virginia along with another man named Joshua Fry. It is the first map to accurately depict the Blue Ridge Mountains. Thomas Jefferson later made his own map of Virginia. Piranhas are illegal to own in nearly half of the United States. In Wichita, Kansas, there is a 109 degrees Fahrenheit difference between the record high and low for the month of February. 12 of the 20 drunkest cities in the U.S. are in the state of Wisconsin. It's also legal in Wisconsin for children to drink in bars and restaurants or at home as long as they are with a parent or guardian. The London Bridge has been built a few times. One of them was purchased in 1968 by an American businessman. The exterior granite blocks from the bridge were cut and transported to the United States. It was rebuilt and is now located in Arizona. King Edward Point, the capital of the British Overseas Territory of South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands, is the smallest capital in the world by population, having a population of between 12 and 22, depending on the season. In 1986, the local Glasgow government changed the name of the street adjoining the South African consulate to Nelson Mandela Place, in recognition of the anti-apartheid activist who was at one time imprisoned by the South African government. In 2021, the Washington, D.C. City Council renamed the street outside the Saudi embassy after the slain Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Just outside Falkirk, Scotland, a unique example of an intact Roman temple once stood. The stone building was destroyed in 1743 because the local landowner needed its stones to build a dam. 5 years later, the stones were swept away in a flood. Mongolia has slightly more horses than people, both sitting at just over 3 million. The Netherlands has more bikes than people, with 23 million versus 17 million. Australia has more kangaroos than people, at around 43 million and 26 million. Before Australia's interior had been thoroughly explored, there was a theory that there was a giant lake at its center. There was once a non-existent inland lake drawn in North America, which was called the Appalachian Salt Lake. Australia was part of the prehistoric continent of Sahul, which also comprised of New Guinea. Papua New Guinea is the most linguistically diverse country in the world, with 840 languages. There are more than 60 million motorcycles in Vietnam, quite a lot when you consider the population is around 95 million. Japan has toilets that sing to you. The Netherlands has toilets that look like this. China is the only country that has more reclaimed land than the Netherlands. In China, since 2013, if you have parents that are over 60 years old, it's illegal to not visit them regularly. Next door to China is the country of Taiwan. Taiwan has been dubbed the face mask capital of Asia because the Taiwanese often wear surgical face masks. This was a common practice even before the COVID-19 pandemic. There is a law that states every high school in New Zealand may hold 1 pound of uranium and 1 pound of thorium for conducting nuclear experiments, but they will be fined $1 million should there be a nuclear explosion. On the 2001 New Zealand census, over 50,000 people listed their religion as Jedi. That was more than the amount of Buddhists and Hindus in the country. In England and Wales, almost 400,000 people stated their religion as Jedi on the 2001 census, making it the 4th largest reported religion in the countries. This was of course mostly due to people's love of Star Wars, but some cited their reasoning as not liking the government asking the religion question. Latvia's Independence Day is May the 4th, the same day as Star Wars Day. In the late 19th century, Afghanistan was home to some 40,000 Jews, but its decline began with an exodus to Israel after its creation in 1948, and most of the community that still called Afghanistan home left after the Soviet invasion in 1979. The last of Afghanistan's Jewish community left in 2021, after the Taliban took power of the country. The continent of Asia has more surface area than the entirety of the moon. Australia is wider than the moon. Russia has 11 different time zones. If you count all of France's territory, they have 12. The capital city of Ukraine, Kiev, was awarded the hero city status by the Soviet Union in honor of its fierce resistance to the Nazis in World War II. Kiev once again was granted the title in 2022 after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky stated, "I decided to mark our hero cities with a special title that already existed, when another invasion was defeated, but a similar invasion. Another invasion, but no less cruel invasion." Algeria is the largest country in Africa by land area, but only about 10% of the country is actually inhabitable. Seychelles is the smallest in Africa. Lake Malawi is nicknamed Calendar Lake because at its longest it is 365 miles, and at its widest it is 52 miles. The lake is also home to several hundred cichlid species, which are commonly found in home aquariums. South Africa hosts the world's largest bicycle race by the number of entrants. It's called the Cape Town Cycle Tour. It hosts 35,000 riders. The race once had over 42,000 before being capped at 35,000 in 2011. It's a commonly held belief that the Cape of Good Hope is the southernmost point in Africa, but it's actually Cape Agulhas. From 1915 to 1990, Namibia was part of South Africa. It was known at the time as Southwest Africa. Equatorial Guinea does not actually sit on the equator. Costa Rica doesn't have a standing army. It was abolished on the 1st of December 1948 by its president following its civil war. Its neighbor Panama abolished its standing army in 1990, following the U.S. invasion of Panama in 1989. The word Timor derives from the Malay word for east, so the name East Timor literally means east-east. The vaquita, the world's rarest marine mammal, has a small geographic range. They are only located in the northern part of Mexico's Gulf of California. Areas have been set aside to protect the marine life in the area, but illegal fishing operations have still resulted in possibly less than 10 vaquitas remaining. Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela experiences more lightning than any place on Earth. Also, 2 villages on the lake's western shore have the highest concentration of Huntington's disease sufferers in the world. The country of Suriname only has 1 movie theater. Jamaica is the only country in the world whose flag does not feature red, white, or blue. El Salvador is the only country in North America without a coastline on the Atlantic Ocean. The Bahamas has an island uninhabited by people that is unofficially named Pig Beach, after the pigs that inhabit it. Bhutan is the only carbon-negative country in the world. It is also illegal to kill any animals in the country. Andorra is the largest country in the world with no airport. Finland has the world's highest annual consumption of milk per capita, at approximately 1 quart per person per day. North Korea owes Sweden around $300 million for Volvos and mining equipment the country sent them back in the 1970s. North Korea was at one time paying the bill, but they stopped in the late 1980s. Some of the exported Volvos are still occasionally spotted in North Korea. Back in 2016, the Swedish embassy in Pyongyang posted a photo showing one of the still unpaid cars, saying that it was used as a taxi. In Belgium's Royal Palace of Brussels, there are more than 1 million beetles in the ceiling. Iraq's coastline measures 58 kilometers or 36 miles. Only men are permitted to visit Mount Athos, a mountain and peninsula in northeastern Greece. Females are forbidden. This includes female domestic animals, the only exception being cats, for their ability to catch mice. This is Tokelau, a dependent territory of New Zealand. Tokelau has a population of less than 2,000 people, but it has more registered domains using its country code than any country in the world, .tk. If we look to Tokelau's southwest, we see Tuvalu, another island nation. Its internet domain, .tv, may be a little more familiar to you if you're into video games and have watched games streamed on Twitch TV. And that concludes another 10 minutes of geography and culture facts. Don't forget, if you sign up on Blinkist using the link I've left in this video's description, you'll receive a free 7-day trial and 25% off a premium membership. If you enjoyed this video, you can watch the first 10 minutes of facts here, if you haven't already. Thank you patrons for supporting my channel, and thank you all for watching.